The name of the game is Texas Hold'em. Tonight we'll be playing Omaha Hold'em. Are you ready to lose? You should be, gentlemen. And, claptrap, it's a mathematical certainty that 80% of you are going to lose tonight. And 100% of you will eventually die. Math is fun, don't you think? Let's make this quick. I have experiments to supervise. Now that you've played a few hands without bleeding all over the cards, it's time to move the blinds up to 600 and 1200. The blinds are now 600 and 1200. You appear to be nodding off. Let's see if moving the blinds up to 600 and 1200 gets your attention. These blinds are too low for players of your obvious skill. Let's bump them up to 600 and 1200. The blinds have been increased to 800 and 1600. I enjoy these little games. I enjoy them even more when they're bigger. The blinds are now 800 and 1600. It's time to raise the blinds to 800 and 1600. You're all still here. Imagine that. I'm moving the blinds up to 800 and 1600. The blinds are now set at 1000 and 2000. Nice round numbers. I've taken the liberty of moving the blinds to 1000 and 2000. At the tone, the blinds will now be 1000 and 2000. Bing! Apparently you've been led to believe that the goal of this tournament is to keep your fellow competitors at the table for as long as possible. It's a common misunderstanding, and one I probably should have corrected several hands ago. By way of apology, I'm moving the blinds to 1000 and 2000. I've increased the blinds to 1200 and 2400. Did you know that the term blinds was coined by a blind poker player in the 19th century? Of course you didn't, because it's a lie. In any event, I'm upping the blinds to 1200 and 2400. The blinds have been increased to 264 and 4C8 in base 23. I'll give you a minute to work that out before I deal the next hand. The blinds are now $1,400 and $2,800. Did you hear that? That was the sound of a counter incrementing deep within my processing core, informing me that it's time to raise the blinds again. Here, I'll adjust its frequency so you can hear it too. I don't know why it sounds like a cow either. Regardless, the blinds are now 1400 and 2800. That's strange. I'm starting to get impatient with this tournament. I'm not really programmed to get impatient, but here we are. Maybe if I increase the blinds to 1400 and 2800, the feeling will go away. The blinds are now $1,600 and $3,200. Studies have shown that increased tension can cause heart palpitations, cold sweats, and in rare instances, death. Let's test that hypothesis by setting the blinds to 1600 and 3200. Much as I enjoy dealing cards and reciting hand names, it's long past time to bring this match to a close, so I'm raising the blinds to 1600 and 3200. The blinds are now $1,800 and $3,600. We've now reached the 1800-3600 blind level. As a courtesy to the inventory's other patrons, I've also begun pumping an olfactory suppressant into the air. I'll bet you didn't expect this tournament to last this long, did you? Perhaps that's part of the problem. You're not making enough stupid bets. Here, let me raise the blinds to 1800 and 3600. The blinds are now $2,000 and $4,000. Some would say that this never-ending tournament is a thrilling testament to the tenacity of the contestants. They would be wrong. This tournament has been fascinating, but I think it's time for you to go home to your loved ones. Oh wait, you don't have any. Perhaps you should go out and get some. By my calculations, this is a 1 in a million tournament. So the next time you're cursing out your losing lottery ticket, remember that you used up your allotment of luck on this. Oh look, you've reached the upper limits of my blinds. Somewhere outside, a new day is dawning, and the good people of the world are waking up, striding confidently towards happiness and enlightenment. And you're in here, playing poker, in the dark. The blinds are now 4000 and 8,000. Brock has, Mr. Samson has, Brock Samson has, and Brock has, and Mr. Samson has, Claptrap has, Mr. Trap has, Mr. Funny Chips has, the little robot has, and Claptrap has, and the robot has, and the rust bucket from Pandora has, Ash has, Mr. Williams has, Ashley has, and Ash has, and Mr. Williams has, Sam has, and Sam has, the player has, and you have, and our silent friend has, and the player has, ace high, king high, queen high, jack high, 10 high, 9 high, 8 high, 7 high, a pair of aces, a pair of kings, a pair of queens, a pair of jacks, a pair of tens, a pair of nines, a pair of eights, a pair of sevens, a pair of sixes, a pair of fives, a pair of fours, a pair of threes, a pair of twos, two pair, three of a kind, a straight, a flush, a full house, four of a kind, a straight flush, a royal flush. Brock steals the blinds, Brock steals the pot, Brock wins the hand, Mr. Samson wins the pot. Brock wins, Claptrap steals the blinds, Claptrap steals the pot, Claptrap wins the hand, Claptrap wins the pot, Claptrap wins, Mr. Williams takes the blinds, Ash grabs the pot, Ash wins the hand, Mr. Williams wins the pot, Ash wins, Sam makes off with the blinds, Sam takes the pot, Sam wins the hand, Sam takes the pot, Sam wins, the player steals the blinds, the player takes the pot, the player wins the hand, the player wins with an ace kicker, with a king kicker, with a queen kicker, with a jack kicker, with the 10 kicker, with the 9 kicker, with the 8 kicker, with the 7 kicker, with the 6 kicker, with the 5 kicker, with the 4 kicker, with the 3 kicker, with the higher pairs, with the high trips, with the high straight, with the high flush, with the bigger house, with the high quads. Lucky you, with the high card on the straight flush. We have a tie, and the pot is split on the side pot, on the first side pot, on the second side pot, and on the exceptionally rare third side pot, and finally, on the big pot, and on the big pot, Brock Samson has been eliminated. Claptrap has been eliminated. The robot from Pandora is out of chips. Mr. Trap has been eliminated from the tournament. Mr. Williams has been eliminated. Ash has been eliminated from the tournament. Ashley Williams has been eliminated. Sam has been eliminated. The player has been eliminated. It appears you have lost all your chips. Oh well, it's only money. Your money. $20,000 of it. Right down the drain. The player has been eliminated due to lack of funds and intelligence. The player has busted out and must leave the table before everyone starts laughing. The player is once again the first to leave the table. The player is eliminated. It must be frustrating to get so close to winning only to lose everything. I can only wonder what that feels like. The player is eliminated again. Would you like to hear something funny? Everyone at the table has won a tournament. Everyone except you. I just thought you should know that. The player has been eliminated. Again. Perhaps you should take a break. I think one of you has taken leave of his senses. More so than usual, I mean. I would be impressed by this pot, but then I remembered that it's just a pile of sand, chalk, and clay. When you think about it, it's nothing more than a festively painted pile of kitty litter. I'm enjoying all this betting. It means I'll be able to go back to my lab that much sooner. I see you've assembled a non-trivial pile of chips. It's very exciting. It probably feels like the anticipation is killing you. But it's not. It's actually the slow-acting poison I've introduced into the inventory's ventilation system. That's a joke. It's really the anticipation. Don't you feel better now? Your boldness is palpable. Although usually a sign of a weak hand, a check can also be used to disguise a stronger hand. In your case, I'll assume it's a sign of confusion. Check, check, check. Such a boring word. 11% of all poker moves are checks. It's not an interesting statistic. But neither was your check. I know something you don't know. Not about this hand. Just generally. I've scanned over 200 million poker tournaments for a replication of your current strategy and found 0 results. So you're a pioneer now. I probably would have raised in your situation. But I probably also would have jumped off a building, so perhaps I'm not the best source of advice. My calculations reveal that calling was absolutely the right move. If you want to lose, well, that was a clever move that won't come back to bite you in your ample posterior. Are you sure a bet of that magnitude is wise for someone in your delicate financial bracket? I see you've decided to bluff your way through this hand. Oh, I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't have said that. My bad. Congratulations. You've stopped listening to your frontal lobe and are going with your gut, where all the feces are. My sensors have detected a tear in your left tricep from pushing all those chips. In the future I recommend lifting from the legs. I can't figure out whether your re-raise indicates a lack of poker skill or a lack of manners. To be fair, it could easily be both. You don't know what you're doing, do you? Most people are bound by the conventions of probability and common sense. But you're special. The judicious poker player knows the importance of a well-timed fold. And then there's you. If you're folding because you're too embarrassed to admit that you've forgotten the rules, just nod your head. I promise not to tell anyone. A fold. How fascinating. Don't feel bad. If I had your brain, I'd fold too. Congratulations. You've converted a nearly unbeatable hand into a victory. That's a relief. I was worried you might screw that up. Again. You know what they say, lucky in cards, unlucky in love. Oh wait, that's a bad thing, isn't it? Well done. Now we'll see how you do when I'm not stacking the deck in your favor. I'll miss you. At least I think I will. I won't know until you actually leave. So go. Now, I wouldn't be ashamed about losing. You have plenty of other things to be ashamed about. You're lucky. If this had been an aperture experiment instead of a poker game, you'd be falling down a bottomless pit right now. Don't worry, it's only money. Oh, that's right, you humans need money, don't you? Perhaps you can try again later, after you've upgraded your brain. It's a shame you have to leave. We were about to have a party. I even brought hats. We've gone several hands without a showdown. Either you've suddenly become better poker players, or I've accidentally introduced serotonin uptake inhibitors into the ventilation system. You haven't flipped over any whole cards for several hands now. Are the cards getting too heavy to lift? In a professional poker tournament, it's not uncommon to go many hands between showdowns. In this case, I'll assume it's because you don't know what you're doing. I hope you're not trying to impress anyone with all these showdowns. Most poker professionals fold over 50% of the time. But hey, what do they know? There's no shame in folding if you don't have a good hand. I just thought you should know that before rushing off to another testosterone-fueled showdown. I project a 0.05% chance that this tournament will end in bloodshed. Luckily, I don't have any blood. Do you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that I should put the two of you in a cryogenic unit, so that I can replay this tournament over and over at my leisure. But that would be wrong. This tournament is giving me an overwhelming sense of déjà vu. Oh, now I remember. It's just like that time my lab rats fought over a piece of cheese. The funny thing is the rats didn't really need to eat the cheese. They were just conditioned to want the cheese by weeks of electrical stimulation. In the end they killed each other, and the cheese was eaten by one of the human test subjects. He died too, because the cheese was moldy. I love these little moments of quiet before the crying starts, don't you? Victory is so close now, for one of you. In case you hadn't noticed, we're not saying any more until you purchase the game. This tournament reminds me of a joke, which I'm not going to tell until someone buys the full version of the game.